Delta Rosard. Jane, how you doing?
Doing well. Excited to watch some League of Legends. Always excited to watch some League of Legends. Don't really know what to expect, but I'm sure it'll be a fun game.
Well, thank you all for tuning in for week 2 of the NYU Student Championship. We should have some fun matches today. There's been a bit of a shakeup prior to game time. It should make things a little bit more exciting.
Yeah, there are a few things I think more interesting than watching Diamond players and off rolls because it makes us all feel a little bit better about ourselves and our own capabilities, I think, sometimes.
Well, and also sometimes a little bit worse.
Well, I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see which one it is.
Well, thankfully, we are broadcasting here from this nice room in the state of Colorado that is currently on fire.
That's true.
But thankfully, we can find solace in watching some wonderful League of Legends today.
Hopefully no Infernal map. We could use a nice Ocean Soul here in Colorado, personally.
Yeah, some nice rain. In a moment here, I think we should be hopping in. You caught what happened last night at Worlds, huh?
Yeah. It's hard. It's always rooting for the Western team. I love watching, the dominant. But it is nice to see the Western teams win. Too bad for Fnatic. But honestly, props to Top. They proved why they're the tournament favorites in that comeback. The first reverse sweep ever. Impressive stuff.
Pick, ban, save.
Yeah. All right. Well, the Nasus ban, the first ban here from the blue side.
Thoughts?
I don't know.
Concerns?
Maybe it's Pocket Peg. Jax, sure, why not?
Jax is a bit of a solo queue terror, huh?
Yeah, well, actually, Jax has been showing up on the world stage recently, too, getting some more run on the world stage. So then also the Sejuani ban. I'm guessing they've done some research. The jungler Hesh Tomato has been playing a lot of Sejuani jungle, so I guess that's a targeted ban against that.
We're a bit of league boomers. We remember when every single game you would see Sejuani in pro play.
Wasn't it like literally 100% pick ban at Worlds one year?
Well, and what was weird is that I don't think many of those were bans. I think it was
it was all picked.
It was all picked. Okay, so Victor being taken off the board here.
Again, looks like a champion that's played a lot by Skyscraper, mid laner over on the blue side. So they're targeting that one away. This is, in some ways a little bit like a clash research, right? You kind of just see what your opponents tend to play and ban that away, try to get them uncomfortable.
Are there any players that we should be looking for? Who are the diamond players in this lobby?
Yeah, so Knighting Yoshi, the top laner on the red side, is currently diamond, and I believe there's one more that was subbed in on the blue side. So on the blue side, I think
we have NYU 1, and then over on the red side, we have NYU Potato.
Yes. Yes. And Mint Boy is diamond, and I believe the jungler for them, Sayarin, is also diamond.
So we should have a pretty exciting matchup up in the top lane.
I believe so. I think we're going to have some diamond battle in the top lane. That should be interesting. We don't get to pay a lot of attention to top lane these days.
No.
So we should be
if by some miracle we transform into a situation where we're playing game theory optimal, who are you first picking here on blue side?
Renekton.
Renekton?
No, okay, I'm not be wanting Renekton here.
No
Ornn here. Okay, TF. Yeah, I think that's fine.
I think that's very solid.
I think champions like TF have a lot more agency in these team-oriented. The teams have played together a little bit more, and it's more of a strategic, slow game. That's when you really have some. You see the shine from champions like TF. Swain played, I think, by one of the members of the team over on the red side, so we'll see if the Swain pick comes out here.
I hate Swain, is what I have to say about Swain.
That's fair.
It's just one of my least favorite champions in the game.
Yeah, I think I will be interested to see, because this is another, honestly, three-way flex.
Sure.
Could go top, could go mid, could go support.
I think these days it's mostly headed down towards support.
Yes, but not exclusively.
You played a decent amount of mid lane. What do you have to say about Twisted Fate into Swain?
I think it's pretty hard for Twisted Fate, actually, because Swain has a lot of ability to heal up from that poke, from those the cards being thrown out by Twisted Fate, and so it's easier for the Swain to sort of sustain through that lane. But
I imagine in some ways you can kind of hard punish the Twisted Fate at level 6 for roaming, because he roams and then he just gets crashed on the tower.
Yeah.
Okay, Kha'Zix.
Saw this one last night in the hands of Selfmade. Didn't go super well, but wasn't really his fault.
Do you have thoughts about Kha'Zix and the Swain and set? I mean,
I think
do.
that's really bad.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
when you want to pick Kha'Zix, the same situations where you want to pick something like a Blue Cane or
Yep,
something
yep.
where you have a lot of squishy targets, you can just delete.
Yep.
And when the only two people you see in the enemy team are bruisers who have a lot of health,
Yeah. Whoa.
top lane Kha'Zix, I guess. Top lane Zach. Okay.
I mean, it's probably. I mean, in the history of this game, right? We've seen more top lane Zacks. Do we have a remake?
It would appear that they're asking for a redo. It picked Zach. All right. Well, maybe we can switch back.
Okay.
Here. Okay, so the issue here is that they wanted to pick the Ashe, and there's also only 4 players on blue side now.
Now 4 players.
So that
okay. We're getting
there's now only
here.
3 players on blue side. The issue though was one of the players wanted to pick Ashe and did not own it.
Sure.
So there was nothing to be done. So we're gonna jump back in.
I mean,
here.
this is just part of the fun, right? This is just how it goes. Okay. The team is gone.
It's us now.
Here we are.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Hi. We're here.
Yeah, I mean, why don't we just talk about Worlds, huh?
Yeah, okay, that's all I want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm sad.
Yeah,
because there was after they go up 2-0, I was so excited because never in my mind did I think this was even remotely possible. And then here they are, 2-0 ahead. I was like, okay, this is it.
I mean, everyone was predicting a 3-0 sweep.
Oh yeah,
from top, right? And really, the reality is it should have been. I think.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And Fnatic's been doing this all year. I mean, they came in as EU second seed in a year where everyone slept on them. They were like, oh, they've got Nemesis and Selfmade, these newer players. Haven't seen a lot of them. Not expecting a lot out of Fnatic. They still have Reckless. They still have, Hylissang. They still have Bwipo, who has turned into a bit of a cultural icon for good reason. I'm very here for why Bwipo happy.
Yeah, we're big fans of that. Very quickly, again, for Twitch chat that has just come in recently, I'm Raphael, Hotfish. I'm joined by Jaden Delta.
Yep.
We're
Delta here.
We're
Hotfish there.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope so. I mean, the camera's flipped, so.
This is Delta. Hello, me.
So, I don't know. I'm kind of pained because even after game 2, where they look so strong, there's this sinking feeling. I'm like, come on, Knight is not letting this happen. Knight is not letting them get away with this.
The thing is, too, is I feel like, especially in game 3, Fnatic did get a little bit. The same bands here out of the 2 teams
running it back. Just major props to Fnatic spot lane. I mean, you're against probably the best ADC in the world in Jackie Love, and they looked way better.
Yeah, Reckless was just composed. He was
Reckless played better than Jackie Love.
Yeah, he did. But at the end of the day, Karsa is really good.
He's a hero.
So is Knight.
He's a hero. Yeah.
So is 369, and it's a
hard team to beat. Okay, so we are blazing through this draft here.
Looks like we're going to get back to the point where they're
so
we have the Ashe now.
The Ashe.
Okay, so the Ashe is going to be picked up by blue side.
Okay.
I like the Ashe here.
Actually. Yeah, I mean, Ashe feels a lot better.
Really like the Fizz here, actually.
Yeah, Fizz is phenomenal. So I assume that's going to mean we're going to have Swain down as our support. But
I think these are our 3 solo lane. Swain support, I think, is probably set top. Could be set jungle. And actually, I think set jungle is very, very good into Kha'Zix. So it'll be interesting to see. That could be flexed over.
I agree with that. But again, this Kha'Zix is looking even worse now that this Fizz gets picked up.
Yeah, how does he kill anyone?
As someone who's played both ends of that matchup,
it's really good.
It doesn't feel good for the Kha'Zix.
And you do have to be quick on the Fizz. You have to, because there are times where you come out of Fog of War and he just assassinates you before you react.
Sure. But part of what you want with Kha'Zix is you want to create this pressure. You want to put pressure and get priority in the lanes, start invading, start getting dives, and you can't against this team.
It's true.
Getting prio against any Swain lane is very hard. Getting prio against Fizz is very, very hard. Getting prio against diving against a set is just not impossible. I mean, we'll see if it has
So, okay, Renekton banned out here.
Sure.
So what I'm looking for on red side here against this Ashe is maybe something like a Senna. I think Senna is sort of on theme with what the rest of their team is doing. There's lots of peel for her.
Goes well with Swain.
Yeah, it goes well with Swain. Goes well with the set in those mid-game skirmishes.
Okay, Ezreal taken off the board.
Okay, interesting. And this is the other thing I was going to mention. This is the classic Ashe counter right now, is this Jhin. Tons of mid-game power coming out of this Jhin against Ashe.
It feels like Jhin is on red side every single game that I've watched for the past 2 months.
Jhin just sort of has this ability right now to blow up squishies, and when you have the team that blue side has right now, especially in the mid game, and that's where Fizz, Set, Swain all tend to shine, and so I think that's a good pickup. I like the Jhin here.
And it's also worth noting, I don't think we touched on this properly.
Late pick there.
Yeah, a little close. What do you thoughts about the Senna? We'll get back to my Fizz point in a moment here.
I think this is a little greedy, and
no.
I think there's a lot of
do this.
Okay, so there's one glaring issue with Blue Side's draft here is that they don't have any health bars.
Yep, no health bars to be found.
Fizz gets to assassinate any of these people.
Yeah, it's because what's interesting here is if you put the Kha'Zix on the other team, Kha'Zix is God.
Yeah, Malphite. So
yikes.
So we've got 4 AD champions on the side of blue side, and then the Twisted Fate. We've got. I'm hoping that's not gonna. Okay, yeah.
It's probably AP Malphite.
Okay, sure. Probably sure. AP Malphite, but AP Malphite still itemizes armor very effectively.
Yep.
I'm worried that blue side just doesn't have a way to really have any agency in these team fights going post 15 minutes. They just don't do enough damage. Jhin and Fizz are just going to annihilate them because there's no front line.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a pretty resounding victory. Jace can be a wonderful inlane bully, but the thing about it is you don't do any damage to the Malphite, right? And Malphite can itemize armor incredibly well. Set can pick up Cinderhulk and then go right to armor. Fizz, because how am I blanking on the name of this item? Because Protobelt is so cheap, you can go Protobelt and then immediately into Zanya's.
So for reference here, Twisted Fate does get a lot of extra gold from his passive, but his first item is Rod of Ages, 3,300 gold. Fizz's first item is 2,500 gold from that Protobelt and gives him enough power to start killing this Twisted Fate regardless of the Rod of Ages.
Well, the truth is, and I'm speaking here as someone who spent about 3 seasons only playing Fizz. You go back, you get Revolver, you come to lane, and Twisted Fate is now legitimately in a position where if he doesn't have gold card up, you just always one-shot him.
And a lot of the time, even when he does have gold card up, he throws the gold card at you, and you just E away from it.
Well, yeah, and his only hope is to position well enough. But what this results in is Twisted Fate is in this awful position where he can't farm. If he wants to roam, his roam is either going to get matched or he's going to get his waves crashed into his tower.
And also you're roaming on a Malphite or a Swain lane? Like, where are you supposed to go? Okay, so on the counter side, though, what is blue side's path to victory here? Because I don't think it's just a wash. I think the biggest thing to look for here is I want to see them funnel this Ashe. I think this Ashe is their win condition because Ashe is a surprisingly good tank buster. People underestimate how much damage you can do with that the flurry shot with that Q on Ashe. And if they can get this Ashe ahead, Swain's very bad against a fed Ashe because you just stun the Swain and he's surprisingly squishy even through that ult.
Well, he's also not particularly mobile, right?
Right.
So when you have the slow on every auto attack and you're getting volleyed and you're getting arrowed, you don't get to move a particularly large amount. And the other thing that I would say that is rather there's 2 good things for blue side for NYU. One, the first is that you've got 3 really powerful globals. The thing about dealing with this Kha'Zix is when the Kha'Zix shows up, if you're in vision, you could just get hit by an Ashe arrow, get queued.
They do have a lot of pick.
Their picking is phenomenal. But the thing that really stands out to me is they scale very well, except for Jace. And of all the things that I don't really appreciate about their draft, the Jace is actually the number 1 for me.
Yeah, I would have liked to see. Actually, I think like the Malphite from them would have been pretty good.
Yep.
I think in some ways you sort of just put your top laner on a tank and sacrifice him to the void.
Yeah.
Like you just are like, all right, you're going to be down 30 CS at 15 minutes. Like we're just going to live with that.
I mean, Camille was available. Camille's really strong there.
Camille's an interesting pickup there.
Fiora.
They actually hovered the Scion on red side. That's another one we've seen some of. I think Scion is good because Scion also has some of that pick potential that they were sort of working towards. We'll see. I think Jace can bully Malphite early. Yeah, Shen's interesting too.
Well, the thing that actually Shen with Kha'Zix is phenomenal.
It's a good delivery system.
Yeah, that is a really, really good delivery system. The thing that's peculiar to me, or rather not peculiar, the thing that's encouraging is that Twisted Fate is rather self-sufficient, right? Twisted Fate, stick him in a solo lane, and he will just accrue an advantage, which means you can funnel this Ashe. You can let Kha'Zix have every camp on the map. And you can just, understand that Jace is a dead champion and doesn't do anything. Yeah,
and I do think, though, I would like to see this Jace pressure the Malphite pre-6, because I think there is some opportunity before Malphite picks up like a Bobby Cinder or something of that variety. There is some opportunity to sort of push him out, because Jace is ranged, obviously, which is good against Malphite early. Once Malphite starts picking up the armor, it's over. But early, I think if you can get some top-line prio... Early, LS is going to get mad at me for this, but like an early Shelly here, actually, I think is pretty good.
Well, this is an idea that just popped in my mind. I don't know if they're comfortable doing this, but putting Jace in the mid lane and TF in the top lane,
could be interesting.
I think that's very favorable for NYU 1. Fizz gets absolutely reamed by Jace. Right. It's really bad. It's true. Not to mention the fact that Malphite doesn't put on a lot of pressure in lane. Those are the lanes that Twisted Fate likes. The thing about TF is he loses practically every single lane matchup, right? Yeah. He's always unfavored. But, I mean, if you throw him against kind of a dead lane, it might be helpful. Certainly you're sacrificing some of his roam potential. But, again, you're talking about, do you really want to be roaming into, Swain?
It's hard. But, again, talking about that, here we are into game now.
Phenomenal. Welcome.
Perfect. What I was going to say is I think Set also presents some danger for this Ashe Senna. They're very squishy, so it'll be interesting to see. Well, here we are in game.
Starting off with a possible invade here, although the teams are just completely opposite.
It's going to be a mirrored 5-man invade.
I mean, we might just start off with some vertical jungling here, although it looks like Team 1 has decided just to get some wards and get out. If they miss position here down towards the red, this could be really, really bad. Ashe could get caught walking to lane. Potato doing a phenomenal job taking a lot of presence here. But like I said, looks like we're going to just start with some vertical jungling. Oh, no. Skyscrape needs to be really, really careful here. I don't know how much he saw.
I think he's going to be okay.
Okay. This might end up working out very, very, very well for Sayaran. Over on the Kha'Zix. Looks like he's going to get a free camp at least to start the game. What do you think that does to the tempo of this early jungle?
Yeah, I think that's good. The Kha'Zix, like we talked about, needs to be able to snowball these other lanes, and Kha'Zix needs to be able to snowball himself, first of all.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good pickup. Just going to be a standard bot side start here for the Set. Will be interesting, though, to see where Set paths next, because he could get very punished if he tries to go blue-red.
Certainly. Okay, well, looks like they did not read my mind and take my advice of putting the Jace into the mid lane. Looks like we have some early skirmishing down there in the bot lane, and Kha'Zix with a nice level 2 gank. It doesn't look like it's going to yield anything, but that could... Oh, boy.
On the other side, man, so some quick action here, and this is what I was talking about. You put 280 carries in the bot lane.
Oh, no. Okay, well, it looks like nothing...
One auto.
Oh, boy. That's a little scary. That is not the side of the lane that you want to be starting with an early lead. That is very, very, very problematic for NYU 1.
And we immediately have action all over the map right now. Like I said, Jace doing a good job pushing in this Malphite. I think that's what he needs to do early.
Probably want a cheater on third wave then.
Yeah, we'll see if he watches enough LS. It'll be interesting.
One would hope. Looks like Kha'Zix just continuing here with his clear. He's got camps up on the top side of his jungle that he needs to deal with. Again, this set has created a lot of pressure already. He should probably be turning this into a back at some point, continue snowballing. Fizz putting on a ton of pressure, gets a good trade out on the W, goes for the E, lands the Ignite.
I think it's going to
don't think it's going to tick. Close. Close. Oh.
Oh,
And Skyscrape just makes it away by the skin of his teeth.
and that's a really good job there also from the Fizz. Not only obviously almost getting the kill, but doing it in such a way where he denies a cannon and 3 melees. The timing of that E actually was in order to deny that cannon minion, and that's good awareness.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that TF is forced to burn the teleport now. And an early TP advantage here is not to be underestimated. That's really, really important. Oh, boy. This Kha'Zix is getting up to no good once again. Jace coming down to collapse. The Fizz turns around, sees the Jace. E misses.
Okay. I think they're going to get out of this one. Yeah, but another...
If that phase breaker hits, there's serious trouble coming the way of NYU 1.
All right, so a little bit of a break now. Jin's going to farm up. He does have the Cull, I believe. So he's going to work on crewing that advantage in the bot lane.
Kha'Zix's clear has actually been a little bit stunted. Hasn't managed to get these camps going. Oh my god. Ash dealing a ton of damage there. 1 auto away, and maybe if that volley connects, that might just be it.
No mana for the Malphite, so Jace is going to be able to keep pushing him in. And at bot lane now, looking for this Ashe Senna bot lane. You do like pushing into this Jhin here. But...
Oh no. Oh, that was so close. The Senna gets pulled in but manages to survive. But that Swain is sitting on a sliver. Needs to make his way out rather fast.
Yep. So I'd like to see also what these backs are going to look like. Not quite yet, but when this back comes in for this Jhin, this next one, because he has been being pushed in, but it would be nice. Maybe we can get the scoreboard up so we can see the farm numbers.
Oh boy, more poke coming down here.
Yep.
This lane, it seems actually quite awful for this Jhin. I mean, it just gets shoved over and over and over again.
It does, but also pretty soon here, the Swain just starts pulling you and punishes you for shoving it. So we'll see how that ends up working out. Even farm here in the mid lane. Jace slightly ahead in top. Less than I would have hoped for this Jace. And he's actually super low up there.
What's very interesting, oh boy, the Malphite going in for a trade here. Misses the early damage. He's taking a lot of minion aggro here.
Oh.
If he switches to cannon form here, this could be trouble. Goes into melee mode. Gets into,
nice
fires the Q, and mid boy taking a nice little early lead up in topside.
Yep, nice. That was a little awkward because neither of them had mana. But a good job from mid boy there to finish that kill off.
I mean, one of them is ranged, right? And this is where we can already see that an issue that came from the Twisted Fate, who's forced to burn his teleport. TF having teleport there is scary.
Fight down bot lane though. Here's the set again. Oh, it's just over. That's not a fight to be called.
Jhin right clicks, and that's about that. The set here looks like he wanted to get a little bit more greedy there, but decided to back off. This Twisted Fate managing to hold his own here against the Fizz in a way that I didn't entirely anticipate. The Fizz does have his flash and his ignite. That could mean trouble.
And both teleports being burned here in the top lane. Yeah, it's sort of interesting to see now with Jace up a little bit of items, I think. See where that brings him.
Okay. Wow, still taking more and more poke. I mean, you're really hoping at some point here that the Malphite manages to cross this barrier where he can just exist in lane without being in so much pain. Okay. Tomato managing to get the first dragon of the game, a mountain dragon that I think will end up being incredibly consequential for this early game.
Yeah, that's a mountain dragon's really good on their team, especially on this Malphite and this set. So that's a good early pickup. Early dragon, 7 minutes is on the earlier side these days for that first drag. And I'd be interested to see now too what that top lane itemization is.
If we could take a peek at farm and itemization here, that would be wonderful. Okay, so there you go. Just a small farm lead up in the top side, but I mean certainly a lot more damage up in that direction.
Yep, going to be the mana immune here for the Jace, which is standard these days. It looks like it's going to be Bork for the Ashe, which actually I don't like here.
Really?
I do think Ashe is supposed to be mana immune here as well.
Swain getting good damage. The Senna returns with a root, but they just are passing ships in the night. Sorry.
It's lots of action here.
Certainly.
What I was going to say is I think Ashe here actually is supposed to itemize the mana immune as well.
Yeah.
It's a much better scaling item, and that's the way this game has to go, is in that scaling direction. And I think Bork does fall off. It is good early, and it does give them some good early pressure, but since they want to look towards this late game, I think the Mana Mania is a little bit better.
And also part of it is that that item is less good when the enemy team is just, going to be itemizing armor and not a whole lot else.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Okay, Tomato coming in here trying to see if he can get something to happen. He does have flash. The Facebreaker connects.
No
and
flash
Malphite
Jace.
ult, and good night, sleep tight, Mintboy.
Yep, that's it. No flash on the Jace, and if the Jace doesn't have flash, he can only knock away one person. He can't knock away two.
Yep.
So that's that.
So thankfully, Syaran here has managed to pick himself up a nice little farm lead. Looks like he's about 2 or 3 camps ahead.
Yep. But speaking of farm lead, big farm difference now in the bot lane.
Yeah.
That's going to be a little closer after this wave gets picked up by the Ashe, but still the Jhin farming very well, and with that call, that's just going to keep spiraling.
I mean, you have to give him props for how much of this lane he spent with the wave just in his face.
Yeah, and that can be very hard on a Jhin to take advantage of that, but a good job here. One thing I'd also be interested in seeing is there are 3, potentially even 4 champions on blue side who might build a black cleaver, and I actually think it's really good here. It's the Sinner item, the classic one, but I think right here there's so much utility on the side of blue to utilize that item, utilize that armor shred against a team that itemizes it very well. I would like to see a black cleaver here from maybe the Jace.
Also against the Malphite, it has a lot of inherent value, certainly in the team fights, especially given the fact that, this Jace is a little bit hamstrung because he can't really build lethality in this lane.
Yeah, and I think Jace really likes the Phage passive as well. That extra bit of move speed is very good on the Jace in this matchup. So I would not be surprised to see that one come out. Could also come out from the Kha'Zix. Could also come out from the Senna. Although I think the Senna is more likely to go for the Umbral Glaive lethality build. That's pretty standard on Senna support these days. And it does look like that is how she is itemizing, with that serrated Dirk Nowitzki being picked up in the bot lane.
Dallas Mavericks here. Okay, the Fizz ult lands. TF is in some serious trouble here.
Wow.
Facebreaker lands into the W, and that's that. This set's
a terror. Oh boy. The Kha'Zix, though.
But the Fizz is still around. Still has flash if he wants to take this further. The Kha'Zix R goes out. The Fizz tries to continue. Gets the W proc, and the W from the set. Oh my god. Haymaker just doing work here. And Malphite, action all around the map. The Malphite manages to connect, and he has an open lane now.
Yeah, that's big for the Malphite.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Swain goes wide, pops the ult, but it seems like they're a little bit disjointed here. Not quite sure who to engage on.
No mana Ashe, though. So no use of that ability, no use of that Q, that upgraded
The
Q.
root lands, gets even closer. Jhin lands the W. Oh my god. Oh my god, that was a bad time to cough. It looks as though there was some hesitation there from the Swain. For a moment, it looks like they weren't going to be able to follow up on that.
Yeah, not quite on the same page, but this Jhin has just kind of disgusting damage.
Yeah, the Jhin manages to pick up another double kill. Blind 3DD now sitting, or Blind Ed, I imagine, now sitting at 4-0-1 with a 17 farm lead.
Yeah. So if we could Observer, if we could switch over to the if we could switch over to the gold on the scoreboard, I'd like to see which the gold. Yep.
There you go.
That's 1,600 gold on this Jhin over this Ashe. That is scary. That's disgusting.
That's really
we're
scary.
talking over a BF sword, so we're talking 50-ish AD of effective gold there. That's a ton. That's really terrifying. This Jhin now, the set also is up 1,200 gold on the Kha'Zix, 4-0-1 on that set. Really been doing a ton of work. It'll be interesting to see what they itemize, but right now, this is Red Side's game to lose.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. We talked about it in the draft. It's just so sorry. I mean, Malphite has reached this point where he's just absolutely unkillable, and his damage is starting to stack up as well. This is dangerous business. This fourth shot, oh my god, that was a 500 damage fourth shot. Okay,
it's 12 minutes.
The Fizz R lands, just walks up, Q goes in, E pops down, W, and that is barbecue chicken.
Yeah, Skyscraper actually had a chance there to pull out that gold card, but it was the first one that appears, and sometimes that can be really hard on Twisted Fate to get that first card.
Absolutely.
So isn't able to get that. It's going to be top turret down, first turret over here to the red side.
This is a bit
5,000 gold lead at 13
W
minutes.
lands into the Swain route, but the Swain, it manages to heal up from the R there for a moment. Jin has to reload here, so he has to back away.
Yep, traded back through. That's okay. Ash isn't worth any extra gold right now.
No.
Getting that kill, it's fine. I think that's actually probably worth it. So take a breath here. 5,000 gold lead. It's 13 minutes in the game. It's 12-2. I'm not sure the next dragon is up.
Yeah, this
is going to be.
Yeah, this is where you start typing FF in the chat to see what.
Oh, the current call.
Okay, he has to burn the flash just to get out, but the Malphite is here with TP speed. He gets hit by the root. If that root doesn't hit, that could just be an R into Senna being in the gray realm.
So, if there is a glimmer of hope here, it is that this Twisted Fate has the Rod of Ages starting to stack up.
Yep.
The Ash got a little bit of extra gold, is almost done with the Bork. Man Immune completed on the Jace, so there is a little bit of itemization. But they just have too much damage, too much map control. That's another kill up towards the top side.
Barbecue chicken.
Yep, and it's going to be some push into the mid here. I don't think there's any way to contest this tower being taken down. Plates have just fallen, so a lot of damage. Not quite going to be able to get it yet. He will take a tower shot for his time, which means
two of them. Yeah, he's going to take 2 damage. Pops
no.
the ult, gets back in.
Ooh,
Uses a really, really, really good stopwatch. Manages to get out there with his life.
Barely. I mean, he almost died through the tower aggro there.
Oh boy, Kha'Zix. Welcome back to the map, buddy. I know it's been a little while. The Fizz R goes wide and down in bot lane. Swain is a little bit hit up here. Has to pop the ult. Poorly timed.
I don't think they can get this. Yeah, I don't think they can get this kill here.
Just to get out though.
Ash Arrow is available, but there's no follow up, and the Fizz is lurking in the mid lanes. So they're gonna have to disengage from this.
Boy.
And actually, Senna might be dead.
Root lands into the pull. That's a scary Jin.
That's an Infinity Edge boots Jin at 14 minutes.
Yep.
With a 20 farm lead.
I'm pretty sure he's backing into most of another item here too.
It's going to be a lot of one, yeah. So this is just a lot of gold over on red side.
He's about to finish up the call as well.
So, what do you think? Anything here that blue can do to stop this tide from red side? I mean, what do you think the options are?
WikiHow guide on DDoSing?
That was not sponsored by NYU, but NYU, if you're listening, it could be. So yes, 15 minutes now, which means
NYU
surrender is now available. I don't think we're going to see a surrender come out of this game.
I hope not.
But yes, this is going to be really hard.
I assure you, the Jin hopes not. He's having a blast.
Jin's having a really good time. This is what feels really good on Jin is when you come into this mid game with 2 items. You're at 20 minutes. You're sitting on 2 items, and Malphite's dead.
Yeah, that was a bit of a missed flash there. That's a decent amount of gold onto the Kha'Zix. But, I mean, before the Twisted Fate showed up, I was just thinking to myself, like, this is the issue with picking Kha'Zix here. Like,
yeah.
Malphite didn't take any damage. Okay, Set making his way in. Facebreaker lands, gets some punches in, and decides, you know what? Suplexed into his teammates. The Jin misses, but the Haymaker lands, and Senna is back to the gray screen.
It's going to be a TP in from the Jace, but it's not going to achieve anything. It's going to be a waste. And in fact, he's just going to take a lot of damage for no reason here.
Root lands.
Oh my god, he's dead.
No.
Good. Oh, sliver of health. No curtain call available on the Jin.
Excuse me. Fizz over here has something to say.
Oh, doesn't quite get the shock blast onto the. He was trying to kill the Swain before he went down. Didn't quite get the shock blast, and
no, not quite.
That's now 602 on Set, 603 on Jin. Really, really nice job from these 2 guys. All right, well, this is now about 7,000. Dragon, I believe, is up. So we'll see who works towards picking that.
Kha'Zix is trying to position towards it. Set here a little bit caught out, just burns the flash, decides not to get too involved with it.
Yeah, and honestly, that flash isn't super valuable on this set in general right now because he has so much survivability in these fights and is going to be in the middle of the team anyway. With that W available and those other abilities, I think that's probably fine. He doesn't mind that too much.
Malphite decides to just sit and take the damage. He doesn't really care.
Root lands.
His ult is up. The Q goes in.
Senna's going back to the lantern.
Yep.
Yeah, that is another dead Senna. It's just really hard for Senna here.
Yeah,
you don't have the gold to have the damage to fight these things, and you don't have the survivability because you're a support.
Well, at least you get plenty of time to check Twitter DMs.
Yeah, it's true. Although when you're 0-5-1 on Senna, I'm not sure how many DMs you're getting on Twitter. Yeah, it's rough. It's really hard here though for the set with the set Fizz Jin. There's just so much. Like I said, Jin just loves right clicking on people with low health bars, and their entire team is in that category. So this is really hard. Malphite here. Not actually sure who wins this 1v1 right now. Actually, I'm pretty sure now.
Guess it's Malphite. Well, I mean, actually, do you know what? Jace started to turn this. Jace might be able to get away from this. The settle perfectly timed.
Well played there.
And the Kha'Zix goes in, but we have set up in the top side. The Haymaker lands. And the Ashe ult goes wide. Jin out here trying to get some damage down. Puts in plenty onto the Twisted Fate. Looks like they're just going to try and push in the wave here.
Senna is here, but I don't think they have a way to contest it. And also, during all that, at some point, this third dragon, second for red side, was picked up. So they now have 2 dragons to 1, and it's going to be a Cloud Soul, which is very good on both teams here. But it's, that's obviously always good to have that extra move speed, a little bit of extra ult CDR.
One of the souls that we're not particularly interested in seeing in Colorado right now.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
Yeah,
in Colorado,
yeah. We don't really want any of that. All right. So, oh, my God. Wonderful pull. Lands the Jin, lands the root. Oh, third.
Wow. Good flash. But isn't quite able to get in range.
His ult is down from the previous fight, but Fizz is here. Doesn't manage to pick up the red buff, but he's going to get the red buff here in a moment. Fret not. Manages to dash through, has the happy feet here for a moment, but gets stunned up, and that will be the end of Fizz getting the shutdown onto the Jace.
A lot of gold for the Jace there, but I think also, it just got a little greedy from the Fizz, trying to push forward a little too much. That's, a big shutdown. So a little bit more gold over. It's still about a 7,000 gold lead here for red side, but they're going to look towards this mid tower, see what happens. But here comes Jin.
Oh, no. Good flash there. Manages to evade the CC chain.
Oh, but this Jace is scary.
My gosh. Gets in, manages to take down the Jin, and picks up a 650 gold bounty for his troubles. The Twisted Fate tries to follow up here, but doesn't manage to make it happen. Set with the suplex. Lands it and manages to get the face breaker. Keeps dealing in damage. But over in the jungle, the Jace manages to take another life.
So this Jace showing a little bit of life here on the side of NYU 1. And
wants to take a bit of Sir Gromulus for his trouble. Oh, no. That comment just gave it away. And it looks like Mint Boy is...
Yeah, he's dead. But that's okay. Yeah. He got some kills for his trouble.
I mean, yeah, I think he just picked up several trillion gold. I think that's what the Jin was worth.
So, okay, here's an example now, actually. He just spent about 3,000 total. And he's now up quite a bit, almost 2,000 on this Malphite.
Yeah,
definitely has.
He actually has the most. Yeah, is the most.
So this Jace now might be able to salvage a little bit in these team fights. Maybe some of more of these pick sort of areas of the jungle, but it's going to be hard. He needs to make sure to keep this Fizz off of him in a way that I'm not sure he can quite yet.
The hope here is that the Jace manages to bridge this gap into the mid game and let his team just be able to scale it and get back into it, because eventually Jin's going to start falling off, but the Ashe is just in another division right now.
Yeah.
It's a truly sad time.
Ashe is, has the Bork completed, a couple of daggers, so it's going to be the Bork Runons build, which I think is fine. I think if you go the Bork, you want to go the Runons. That is the way to go. Jace going to pick up that top lane wave, looking for a pick maybe in this bottom jungle for the red side. Here comes the Kha'Zix, but Kha'Zix is getting picked, not doing the picking at the moment. So we'll see what happens now. Set's just threatening everything, and you can't walk up on that set right now. So they're just able to get this tower for free. Should get another charge out of this surely. And we'll pick up an inhib tower, actually. So they're just going to force the issue. They're going to push right into blue side's base. No answer for blue side.
The arrow lands onto the Fizz, but it doesn't look like there's going to be any follow-up.
Two-minute escape without that charge going off. But that's a lot of objectives and a lot of map presence now for red side for basically nothing. They didn't have to give up anything to push into there, and they're going to move now towards this dragon that's spawning in just a few seconds.
Can our lovely, handsome observer click on this Senna so we can see how she's doing in the stack department?
Interested to see that. We have blocked ourselves off of it. Senna has, almost 50 stacks now, so starting to get into that attack range.
Speaking of someone who's in attack range, this Fizz manages to just absolutely delete the Kha'Zix. But you know what? the Jace decides to delete him just back in response.
Here comes
Facebreaker lands. Oh, I was going to keep calling that, but then suddenly they're just...
Yeah, that fight is over.
Yeah, he's bye-bye Jace.
8-0-4. This is a Cinder Hulk, Dead Man's Plate, Aegis of the Legions
Thanos
set that somehow also does more damage than everyone else. So
yeah,
thanks, Riot. We really love the true damage on set W. I've abused that ability quite a bit in my time.
I really don't know why that's like.
It's fine.
If it just said magic damage or physical damage, I would be fine with that. You know.
But how are we supposed to feel how much more powerful the punch is in the middle if it doesn't do true damage?
I think it should do adaptive damage to whichever you have less resistance of.
All right.
Okay.
Moving on from
Right, you hear that? That's a free one, okay?
This Kha'Zix is trying to look for the Swain.
Actually, oh my god, he does a lot of damage there. Oh. And the Swain is just going good night. The Evolved E just takes him out, and that is that. But it seems like the Kha'Zix and the rest of NYU 1 is a little bit too far off of this Baron to be able to contest.
Yeah, they know what's happening, but don't have a way to get into here. So this is going to be Baron over for red side. Black Cleaver completed on this Jace, like we were talking about. I think that's very good here. 10 stacks Rod of Ages on Twisted Fate. Duskblade is now done for the Kha'Zix, and he's actually going to shop after picking up that kill too. So we'll see what happens here. But that's a lot of armor on the Malphite. Wow, that is a lot of armor on the Malphite, actually. He's got Sunfire, Frozen Gauntlet, Tabby Bramble Best. Yeah, moving towards that Thornmail. He's pretty unkillable these days.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think the TF is at a point where, he has the damage to get through it. The Jace decides to get a little bit of poke into this set after seeing the Facebreaker get used.
And crucially, that's the Muramana actually finished now for the Jace. So that is quite a bit of damage. That's a full 3-item Jace here. He is quite strong. But he needs to basically carry these team fights, and that's a dead Kha'Zix.
Ooh.
Oh, that'll land.
Yeah, that is wow, that was a painful fish.
Yes, that Kha'Zix just a little out of position there, didn't have enough deep vision in his own red side jungle. That's the state of affairs in this game right now.
Uh-oh, and Senna just
Jin right-clicked and
back to the gray screen. Okay, and it looks like Jace has just decided to take matters into his own hands, put down a ton of damage, but over on the screen that we couldn't see, Set was just continuing to cause mayhem and terror inside the base of NYU Team 1. They need to cause serious damage here if they don't want serious damage to their Nexus. Some of the health bars looking a little bit low. Now. Ash trying to make a final volley here.
No mana on the Ash, though. Oh,
boy. You don't need mana auto attack, though. Oh. Kha'Zix comes back in, manages to get good damage down. Fizz returning. The gold card sitting here on the Twisted Fate, but he just gets pulled by the Swain.
Where's the Jace?
And that is that. Kha'Zix
is dead, actually, on the backside of this fight.
Kha'Zix here still alive somehow, as is the Swain. The Swain manages to dodge the root, and you know what? This Malphite just...
this Malphite doesn't die, does he?
Yeah, the Malphite is completely invincible, but unfortunately for NYU Team 1, their Nexus is not.
Yep, that is, it was a valiant effort there at the end, but at the end of the day, we talked about it in the pregame. Too much itemization of armor, just weren't able to overcome that Malphite armor, and also the set just running terror around the map. I think he finished like 10 or 11-1 at the end of that game.
Yeah.
And just really had great map presence from that set. 8-1, okay. 6 Ruby Pistols picked up on the side of Fizz at the end of the game. Wow, that's a lot of Jace damage.
Yeah, look at that, right? Like, Jace manages to output 24K in 26 minutes, but, I mean, it didn't really feel like people on Potato were dying particularly.
No, and it's just really the reality of it was that by the time that Jace got to a point where he was able to dish out that damage, Team Potato, and it was just a very well played game. We talked about the set needing to get that Jin involved early game. That's what happened. Fizz was able to pick up some assassination kills. Malphite just clicked on armor items, and that was that.
Tomato's set just really turned the game into a joke.
Yeah.
And in some ways, after all the champions were locked in, the game was really hard. So there's not a whole lot to be said other than that.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Potato for picking up this match in week 2 the NYU Student Championship.
Yeah, good game there. We'll have some more games, I think, next weekend. At least one more for
Hopefully,
week 3 of the Student Championship. So any final thoughts about this game and sort of how it went for both of these teams?
My final thoughts, something to the effect of set good.
Yeah, set early when Set gets had early game.
Yes, I could. These are a lot of my favorite champions to watch, a lot of my favorite champions to play, but Kha'Zix is not great into tanks.
That's the reality.
I mean, I wouldn't even say it's JG diff. It's JGDC, right?
I think it was draft diff, really.
Yeah.
And,
well, that's what I'm saying, right? Like, because of the position that the Kha'Zix was in, you're basically just down a player.
Yeah, that was really rough. Okay, so on a little bit of a different topic here, G2 Gen G tonight, last quarterfinal of Worlds. Who you got? And what score?
Man, I don't know. I want a Western team to do well, but I'm honestly a little depressed about G2. Like, going into groups, I hate to say it, Fnatic looked better. I would like to say that G2 is going to win, but honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna say G2, but I think it's going to be in 5.
Another reverse sweep?
And I think it's going to involve some ridiculous heroics from specifically Perks.
Okay. Well, and Perks has, we're talking about Jackie being the best ADC in the world. The person who has claim to that title other than him is Gen G's ruler. And so Perks has a hard matchup there tonight. I'm really looking for Mickey X to step up and help Perks carry that lane.
I mean, Mickey is probably competing with Sword Art at the moment for the best support at Worlds.
Yeah, well, Hylissang up until last night.
Hylissang was putting on a clinic.
Yeah, that Rakan was really nasty.
Unreal. Absolutely unreal. Well, I think that's about all we have to say. I want some water. Yeah. As usual, my stream is sponsored by water. Go drink it.
Yeah. Is it?
So
you're getting paid?
Yeah. So today I have been Hotfish and I have been joined by Delta.
Maybe we'll have socials down here.
Perhaps. Yeah, look. There you go. That's my Twitter.
Don't follow it. It's not worth it.
Yeah, it's not. It's definitely not worth it. Anyways, we will be back hopefully next week to cast some more wonderful League of Legends. I've been Hotfish.
I'm Delta.
And we'll see you next time.